Hello friends. This is Becky with Becky Budgets. Just wanted to go ahead and come on here to do our December week 1 budget. Before I get started, I wanted to go ahead and show you how I break down what bills we are going to pay during each week. What I usually do is I pull, in this case we have 4 paychecks that we're going to be using in December. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one is so close to January that I'm just going to pull it into the next month. So I've pulled 4 highlighters. These are those friction line by Pilot, which I absolutely love. And what I do is I assign a week, a color to each paycheck, and then which bills I'm paying with that paycheck. So let's go ahead and get started with week 1. So as you notice here, week 1, we are both getting paid. So both me and my husband get paid. We have to take care of all the bills before the next paycheck. So we know that we're paying rent, we're paying the Upstart loans, and those were pulled to the beginning of the month because we do have more income. Our car insurance is due, the Dell minimum, the Capital One minimum. This month we are paying for Audible, so that's on here. And then I always like to pull forward our Excel bill. So that one is all set. Now moving on to the next color, which we're going to assign for the second paycheck in the month. We've got to take care of all the bills before the end of the month. So we are planning on paying for my husband's Southwest, the T-Mobile, the Chase Freedom. And I'm already noticing right here that this is going to be a very bill heavy week. So what I'm going to plan on doing is pulling the Xfinity. Why am I pulling the Xfinity out of these bills? Because the Advantage, which is my husband's student loan, comes out automatically. So do the Microsoft and the Cricket subscription. So that Xfinity is something that I can actually pay early. And that way we have less to pay that following week. Week 3, I'm going to go ahead and assign purple. So we're going to have these automatic bills come out. And then we'll go ahead and add Nationwide and the Apple subscription. Now, last but certainly not least is that last paycheck. This one tends to get hit the least, which is where we get the bulk of our snowball. This last month, it was a little different because we had to pay for my husband's car window to get fixed. But usually this is where I bank on us getting a lot of our snowball. And before the next paycheck, we have the Slate credit card, the Amazon, and my husband's phone due. So this is what I use as a backbone to what I pay week to week. Moving on to the first week in December. Let me make sure it's in frame and that we can fit my calculator there. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and budget for, and as you know, I use my little Erin Condren notebook on this side as kind of a guide. So we're going to go ahead and budget for both my husband and my December 1st paycheck. That does not happen very often. Let me go ahead and write my paycheck in, my husband's paycheck, and then my dad, and savings. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have already started paying for things from our Christmas fund, and I was forgetting to account for them in the budget. So what I will be doing is kind of, oh my goodness, they decided to fight as always. I'm surprised they let me film the first video while they were quiet. So I apologize for that. But as I was saying, what I think I'm going to do is once I figure out all the finances, I'm going to kind of pull it in as money used from savings and then out towards those Christmas gifts. I've just been buying sales for people that I know, and much like our groceries, I only buy groceries that are on sale and I stock up on things. So to be honest, I don't know where we sit there. I just know that we have many gifts already purchased and that I only have a few more to buy. The minimum that we have for my paycheck is $4,000. For my husband, it's $700 a week. My dad should be giving us $500, and then savings I have not figured out yet. So when we add those three values together, we end up with $5,200 for this week. The bills that are due at the beginning of the month are rent, which is due on the 1st. Then we have the Upstart loans, and I do bulk them together here, and that's due on the 2nd. Allstate, which is our car insurance, is also due on the 2nd. Then we've got my Barclay card, which has the Dell, and that one's due on the 3rd. My husband's Barclay, which is due on the 5th. We've got Audible, which is also due on the 5th. And finally, we've got Excel, which is our light and energy. Wait, our energy and gas bill. Light and energy is the same thing. So that is due on the 8th. But as you notice, when I broke down the month, we did move that up to this paycheck. Rent, we have budgeted for $2,500. The Upstart loans, we have at $1,652. Allstate, we've got at $146. The minimum that we've held on the Barclay, even though the minimum on both cards is $29 right now, we pay $90 towards the Dell principal, and we pay $80 towards the Capital One principal. Audible is $16 every other month, and then Excel has a minimum, or we have it averaged down to $250. When I add those values together, we end up with a total of $4,737. When we take that away from our income, we end up with an overage of $463. Now, I know that this is a heavy month for the 52-week challenges. So I'm going to go ahead and account for those first so that I know where I can distribute the rest of the money. So 52 week number 1 is the one in my account. 52 week number 2, which goes towards moving, is in my husband's account. This month I have to put $250 towards Christmas, and my husband is on week 48. So when I add those two values together, we end up with a savings total of $298. 463 minus the 298 means that I have $165 that I can account for on this budget. I know that our sinking funds are $100, so we've got $60 to distribute down here. Now I'm going to go ahead and skip food. And from the rest of these, the one that is going to need to be replenished first is gas. So I'm going to put $50 towards gas, and we're going to skip the rest this first week. That's going to give our envelope total, or a variable envelope total, a total of 50. So 463 minus the 50 gives us a leftover of 413. And let me check to see if that's in frame. Let me move it up a little bit. So that's going to give us a leftover of 413. Pulling that value over, our sinking funds will get met this week. So we're putting 25 towards medical. Then we've got 15 going to vet, household, car maintenance, gifts. Vacation will get 5. Renter's insurance and car registration get 3 apiece. And then the emergency fund gets the last 4 to round all of that up to $100. So when we take 100 away from the 413, we're left with 313. And I'll have the calculator catch up. Now, because we know that our extra savings are going to take $298 from that leftover, we're going to have $15 that will go towards our snowball this week. And that's in order to get us to a zero-based budget. So 313 minus the 15 is going to leave us the $298 we need to achieve that zero-based budget. As always, my friends, let's go ahead and check my math. So we've got an income total of $5,200 minus our bill total of $4,737 minus an envelope total of 50 minus the 100 going towards the sinking funds, the 15 going towards the snowball, and the 298 going towards savings. And yes, my friends, that gets us to that zero-based budget. Week 1 tends to be the most difficult one for me to budget ahead for, because I get paid monthly and that variability can go up a little bit and sometimes a lot. So I do have trouble kind of gauging what it's going to look like realistically. We were blessed last month in that my overage actually paid for all of our variable envelopes right off the bat. That I think was a fluke. I don't expect that to happen this month, but nonetheless, it's good to have a plan going into a new month and a new week. Well, friends, I hope that each and every one of you is having an amazing day. If you are into football, I hope that your team wins. Unfortunately, our Bears lost sadly, very sadly, to the Jets today, but that's okay. Take care, my friends, and I will see you tomorrow with an announcement as to who won the giveaway. Take care, friends.